Hello folks, this is Sula speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. This footage is taken from a double-up game I played with JDP El Grillo. In this game, I'm going to be playing a Dryad and Reaper based team composition, and this is a game that ended up being extremely close. So stay tuned to the end, or if you find the early parts boring, feel free to skip ahead to the end. But I will tell you right away that this is going to be a bit of a nail-biter, and it ended up being a very entertaining game for that reason. Alright, so I won't say that I've been playing a ton of Teamfight Tactics. As I said, I've said this a couple times before, I'm mostly trying to finish up the Battle Pass that gives you the various stage rewards, and I've gotten close to finishing that, but still need to play some more games. Grillo has actually been playing a lot more of Teamfight Tactics than me, and I think he played his way up to Emerald 4 in the ranked mode, in the single-player mode. So he's actually been playing a lot more recently, and so I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to lean on the fact that you've been doing pretty well in solo queue for this particular game. I have played more double up, but Grillo has played a lot more of the single player mode. In terms of what we took for our option, we took the gold opener one because we thought the others were a little bit more distorting, and that one just gives everybody, I think, 7 additional gold. So right now, instead of having 6 gold, I had 13 gold. And I'm going to go ahead and just buy up the board here on Champions. I didn't really have anything in particular that I was trying to play right here, but I'm going to buy up the board. I'll still be over 10 gold here and get as much income as I can off that. Now, we did have one thing drop on Grillo's initial minion round, and that was a Kindred. So Kindred, very popular in, I don't know, one of these patches. There's been so many hotfix patches and whatnot that it's hard for me to keep all of them straight, but super popular in one of them. I posted a video where there was a patch where there were only 2 viable team compositions. You could play either Kaisa or you could alternately play Kindred with Kindred Gnar, basically. So I decided that I would go ahead to look to try to play this because I could play Fated potentially as an option here. And I had a decent opener for it. I also was able to pick up the 1 Rek'Sai here, so I'll be able to get into Dryad trait and start stacking up Dryad trait. And in fact, I would end up not going the Fated route in this game. Can play Kindred along the Fated route, but I opted not to go that route in this game, in part because what I ended up getting for my initial augment, which is a great segue into what we'll take here. All right, so a couple different options here. Let's see, Silver Veil gives you the crowd control protection. That wouldn't be terrible. I did think about taking Caretaker's Ally. Gain a random 2-class champ now. Gain the same one again every time you level up. So if you get some of the more popular 2-class champs, this is practically like a guaranteed 3-star unit because it's very, very easy to 3-star that unit. But then I decided that, you know what, I might get something that doesn't particularly fit with what I'm playing like at all, so I'll just go ahead and take this option instead, the one that gives me a the one that gives me a random emblem and a Reforger. So I'm kind of gambling that I'm going to get something that's decent here. Still, I will basically get 2 swings at this in terms of it being reforged, and there's a lot of different things that I could use here. So for example, if I get a Fated emblem, I can play more into Vertical Fated. If I would get a Dryad emblem, that would actually be really useful here. I could look to try to get something like the Bruiser emblem or a Warden emblem. You can use all of them in this particular setup. So I could, of course, get something utterly random, but I also have the potential to get something that could be pretty useful here. And I'll find out what that is on the next round. I don't really understand why you get the emblem on the next round. It's kind of random. But yeah, that's the case. Anyway, that round did not go particularly well because my board is all 1-stars, and I lost to someone who did have some 2-stars. But I do get another Kindred here, and all right, let's see what our emblem is, and oh. All right, Fortune Emblem. Well, that's not actually helpful, so let's go ahead and reforge it and pray that something better comes out, because what I have right now is not useful. It's like, oh, a Reaper Emblem. Oh, okay. Well, that actually sounds pretty good. So I can put this on Gnar and turn Gnar into a Reaper, which is going to be pretty good. So I was actually quite happy with that. And my early items that I've gotten so far have been pretty good as well. I was able to get a tier for Kindred, which is one of the items that they want the most. You really want to get blue buff on Kindred. And then I was able to get a sword, which can build into a number of good Gnar items. Specifically, it's probably best built into Bloodthirster, but you could also build other stuff with it as well. So the fact that I was able to reroll that into a Reaper emblem is quite nice, and it means I have good odds of being able to play 4 Reapers now on this board. Typically on this board, you would not look to play 4 Reapers. You would probably play 2 Reapers, but this does open up some additional options for me. But unfortunately, I'm going to lose that round as well because, again, my board is all one-star units, which is not particularly amazing for this stage of the game. My front line in particular is pretty weak here. Then we get this encounter. Kha'Zix gives you the next augment immediately. So I was like, okay, we can just take something here. I'm looking at the different options. Combat Caster is actually quite good on Kindred. But I saw that there was the middle one, Sleight of Hand, gain a Thief's Glove. Champions holding this item gain 200 health and 20% attack speed. And I was like, this is double up mode where you have the potential to get like lots of Thief's Gloves. You can get them from the gift rounds. You actually have an option to get a Thief's Glove from each of the gift rounds. So I figured I'd have good odds to make at least 2 and maybe 3 of these things. And that would certainly give me enough value to make that worthwhile. If you only make 1 Thief's Glove, this is not amazing value. But if you can get multiple ones, then it is very much so. I am holding an awful lot of units on my bench here. That's because I'm still trying to decide if I want to go into more heavily vertical faded or if I want to go into some of these other units here. I definitely want to hold additional Kindreds because Kindred's going to be one of the key units we're going to try to have to 3-star in this game. And then I'll also pick up the Rek'Sai. I'm not really planning on 3-starring Rek'Sai, but I might as well pick up that unit anyway because I'm definitely going to be re-rolling for these units. Then I also have a Kabuko pair, so I wanted to pick that up. And then the Zoe is for Grillo. I actually found an early Zoe and sent that over to him. And that's because he's going to play a Storyweaver board. His augment choice was he took the one where you get a training dummy that has emblems on it. And he actually had a Storyweaver emblem on the training dummy. So he's definitely going to play into Storyweaver in this game. And he ends up putting together a pretty nice Storyweaver board overall, thanks to having that. All right, so now it's time for the next carousel. I'm going to be 3rd pick here. Grillo actually gets the 1st pick, which is kind of nice. We actually have not been winning too many rounds thus far in this game, but we're trying to get there. So I'm trying to get something that will either go with Gnar or we'll go with Kindred. And I would very much like to get this tier so I can make a blue buff for Kindred. So I will go ahead and do that. And I'm going to be pretty happy with that. I'm looking to stack up Kindred and Gnar right now because they're kind of my carries. I don't really need tank items at the moment because the main tank in this comp is Ornn, but I won't have Ornn for quite a while. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get items for my carries. And I was probably going to take Kabuko out of my board at this point in time, but then I saw that I hit Kabuko 2-star, and I was like, well, I did 2-star this, so I guess I'll continue to play this. And I guess I have to play something else here. Yeah, see, I'm thinking about selling it, but I was like, I don't think I should really sell a 2-star. I was going to put Faded Trade here in, but instead I'm going to put in Aatrox because Aatrox is a unit I definitely want to play with this board. Long-term, Aatrox is going to be the replacement for Kabuko, but I don't want to take out the 2-star Kabuko, so I end up leaving him on the board, and I've got this kind of wonky 3 bruisers set up. I've ended up holding on to these extra faded units for quite a while. I think I was kind of hoping to see if I could make 2-star Yasuo or 2-star Ahri instead of been stuck at 2 out of 3 for ages right now. Which is really not what I'm looking for, being stuck on 2 out of 3. But I don't really want to play them on the board and put in Faded Trait unless I can 2-star one of them, and that has not happened thus far. Anyway, this is an interesting round. I'm about to kill this other board, but then Grillo comes in, and together we're able to finish this one off. So that one was pretty close, but we were able to win against that one. And now I'm going to look over, well, I'm trying to look over at Grillo's board, but I can't see it because he came and reinforced me. So he is technically on my screen, one of the little bugs in Double Up. Can't actually look at his board until the round starts, but this is nice. I'm going to get the send back, so I actually have 2 out of 3 Zoes here. I actually have 2 out of 3 Zoes, but I can only send 1 if I want to use the send right now, and we did want to use the send. He's going to send me a Kindred, so that gets me Kindred 2-star, and that's definitely a big spike there. Yeah, I'm looking over there. Storyweaver 5, looking pretty solid. So we were like, do we just send the 1 Zoe? And I asked Grillo, are you going to be re-rolling or are you just going to be power leveling? And he was like, I'm just going to be power leveling. So with that in mind, I figured, you know what? Let's just go ahead and send the Zoe and get this on cooldown. And and then I think, was this when I finally decided that I was going to move out of the faded units? Yeah, I finally saw the faded units. I was like, all right, I might as well pick up this extra Rek'Sai. Again, we might as well. Rek'Sai is probably going to stay on the board. I need to play Rek'Sai to get to 4 bruisers, unless I would find a 0, which is not likely to happen anytime soon. So, or excuse me, play 4, not 4 bruisers, to play 4 Dryad. I'll need to find either Ornn or Azir, and I might as well pick up the extra Rek'Sai because it doesn't really hurt much econ to pick them up. Like this round, it doesn't hurt anything to pick them up. And then I get another Kindred, another Gnar. So this is looking good. I've got, 4 Kindreds, 4 Rek'Sais, 2 Gnars thus far. And we might as well try to 3-star all of them if we can, because why not? I'm going to be doing a lot of rerolling in this game. So Kindred, let's go ahead and cover Kindred first. while we have a minion round here. Kindred has 3 traits, which is why Kindred tends to get played in a lot of team compositions. They have Dryad trait, Fated trait, and Reaper trait. We're going to be focusing on Dryad and Reaper trait in this particular game. So Kindred's ability only costs 30 mana. Here's the formal description. Dash away from the current target, deal magic damage to them, and magic damage to the nearest enemy. So only 30 mana. You can see Kindred kind of hops around throughout the course of the fight, dealing damage to enemies and moving around. Blue buff is one of their most important items because blue buff, of course, drops the mana cost. Excuse me. Blue buff drops the mana cost from 30 down to 20. So that means it's only 2 auto attacks to get the damage off. Also does deal magic damage, not physical damage. Gnar is physical, Kindred is magic. So they have some nice synergy there between the two of them. Right now, I would very much like to get something that builds out of the rod for more AP on Kindred. And then I'd love to have this, vest that's sitting on my bench. I'd love to get a bow so I can make Titan's Resolve on Gnar. And if I could get a cloak to make Bloodthirster, that would kind of be best in slot itemization for Gnar. If I could have the Reaper emblem plus a Bloodthirster plus a Titans, that would probably be the best items that I could make on the Gnar. So I'm hoping I can get something along those lines. I am on a modest win streak here. Since I was able to hit the 2-star Kindred, I'm getting on a win streak, and that's actually pretty important due to the way that Dryad trait works in this game. By the way, this is a very close fight against this Senna, and this is going to come down to the wire, but Kindred gets off one last auto attack, or one last cast of their ability, and that's going to allow me to win this one. Anyway, that's because the Dryad trait is a stacking trait. Yes, and by the way, I really should have leveled to 6 previously on that previous round to try to get, try to maintain win streak. But anyway, as I said, Dryad trait is a stacking trait. It stacks up over the course of the game, and the more units you kill, the more health all of the Dryad units gain. Here, I move out of the Cobblecoat because I see the opportunity to play 4 Reapers, which is going to be pretty strong. So now that I'm level 6, I can start re-rolling here, and we're going to stay at level 6 for quite a while. By the way, I wish I had hit those 2 stars before the round started. I did not, but it is what it is. That's just life here. So I have sacrificed some frontline in favor of gaining additional damage by taking out that 2-star Cobblecoat. So it's going to be up to the Rek'Sai, and then who's my other frontline? I don't really have. Oh, and then the Aatrox, who are both bruisers, but 1-cost and 2-cost bruisers, not amazingly strong. So it's going to be up to them to hold the frontline. But at least for the time being, it looks like I'm doing reasonably well, and I'm going to have Gnar 2-star and Aatrox 2-star after this. By the way, I went ahead and reinforced Grillo's board and then beat that exact same Senna player that I had just beaten on the previous rounds. They probably were not a huge fan of how close those wins were. Okay, so here we get the Cho'Gath augment, where you can gain components in exchange for sacrificing a shop slot. That is a big time no. This early in the game, I absolutely cannot sacrifice a shop slot because I need that shop slot for re-rolling. And I might as well pick up the Aatrox here because why not? I might as well hold this. But by the way, that person who's playing Senna just hit Senna 3-star, so that's like, oof. Glad that we just beat the board before they hit Senna 3-star, but still, it would have been nice to not have them hit quite that early. Still, I am hitting some units here. Again, it's a little frustrating that this Kaisa pops up at a moment when I don't need Kaisa. That would have been so nice in some other games to have that 2% Kaisa, but instead it pops up here in a game where it doesn't really matter. All right, so, but for the moment, at least I'm win streaking, and I should be win streaking at this stage of the game because I am re-rolling on level 6. This is where my board has kind of hit a power spike because I've 2-starred all the units that I'm playing on level 6. This will then fall off as other people level until I can start to hit some of my 3-stars. So I'm going to be strong right now, but my board will definitely fall off over time because other people are going to go to level 7, and then they're going to go to level 8, and I'm still going to be stuck at level 6 re-rolling. So I definitely need to keep hitting those Kindreds. I'm at 5 Kindreds. I'm at 4 Rek'Sais, and then between me and Grillo, I believe we have 5 Gnars, so we are making some progress. Also would have won that round, but then, yeah, get reinforced on. Welcome to double up mode. That's that. So we have another carousel here, and I see that there's the Cane there, as I'm like, oh, man. That Cane would be so good. I could take the Cloak and make Bloodthirster for the, Gnar, and then I could just replace Kha'Zix with Cane, who is a much better unit. But of course, there's no way that this is going to be left, right? Right? And I was like, oh, the Cane is still there. Oh my god, it's still there, and I'm last pick. Can I get this? And then, why couldn't the Cane have been on the left side of the carousel instead of the right side of the carousel? Oof. That's a real tilter right there. That's very disappointing. So, Oh, that really would have been nice to have gotten that. At least though, I'm going to be able to get a Thief's Glove. This is the gift round for double up, so I'm going to get a Thief's Glove here, and that's not bad. It's because I have that augment that makes the Thief's Gloves more powerful. So I will go ahead and I'm looking over here. I'll go ahead and use the send on Zoe. That's going to make Zoe 2-star for Grillo. By the way, I've sent him all 3 Zoes, I believe. I sent him 3 1-star Zoes to get Zoe 2-star. He just has not seen it on his board, so kind of important. Otherwise, I don't think he could have played Story Weaver 5. And then he's going to go ahead and send me a Gnar. We've been using the sends on cooldown right now just to try to get them in use as much as possible. But anyway, that was still a very frustrating carousel because, oh man, if I could have gotten the Kayn to replace the, the Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix is really doing nothing. He's just in there as a trait bot. Kayn would be like a real unit that I could actually itemize in my 4 Reaper board. And then I would have been able to get Bloodthirster, which is a really good item on Gnar because he wants healing. And Reaper, Dryad trait's going to give him a lot of bonus health, which means that the Bloodthirster shield is going to trigger off all that health and make him tankier as well. So it's just a very, very good item for him. Now we have the gift round going the other way, so I have the option to send things to Grillo. The only real options here are Thief's Glove or Component Anvil because the training dummy is really weak. It's very much not a good option, so he's going to take the Component Anvil. And I'm going to continue rerolling. And I decide I'll put the Thief's Glove on Aatrox because I really do need more additional front line. And okay, we'll pick up the Rek'Sai. So I wouldn't say that we're having amazing luck at hitting these, but we are having some luck. We've got the, was it 5 Rek'Sais, 4 Gnars, 5 Kindreds thus far. Not bad, but I would have liked a little bit more luck at hitting some of these units because they aren't really that contested. I'm looking around the lobby. No one's playing Gnar in this lobby, and one person has 2 Kindreds, and that's it. So it's not like there's a ton of Kindreds out of the pool. There's some games where Kindred is super contested, but this is not one of them. So I should be clear to hit the 3 stars on all these units because no one is playing Gnar, and Kindred is like barely being played by anyone. There's just a couple of the units out. I believe there's 20 copies of the 2 costs in the game right now in the current bag size, and that means that having 2 of them out should not make it that hard to hit. But so far, Grillo and I have had some luck hitting Kindred, but not a ton of luck. It's also unfortunate that I was reinforced on that 1 round in the middle of Stage 3 because I had 2 wins and then a loss and then 2 wins. It would have been really nice if I had carried my win streak all the way through. It would have made quite a bit of additional income, but didn't end up happening, and that's that. Still, here's good news. I find a Galio, and this is great because now I can look to send this to Grillo because he just needs to find Galio to get 7 Storyweaver in. Galio or, Aurelia, but it's going to be harder to find the Aurelia. So getting him Galio is going to be very, very nice, and I'll be able to send that because the champion scent is going to transform here in a round or so. Okay, so now it's another minion round, and unfortunately the stuff I get is not great here. This is not quite what I want because this stuff is not amazing for the setup I have here. Again, I really wanted to get a cloak so I can make Bloodthirster on Gnar. I wanted a bow so I can make Titan's Resolve on Gnar, and then just more AP stuff for Kindred. I got another tier, which is unfortunate because I didn't need another tier. I already had the tier, so that's not quite what I wanted there. And Alawi is going to be the next unit in who goes in at level. Next unit who goes in on level up. By the way, I am hitting Rek'Sai, which is weird because it's level 6. So anyway, I'll go ahead and make Morellos on the Kindred, and then I was like, I really should make some kind of item on Gnar here. I've got to try to make something out of this item. I was like, I guess I can go ahead and do Infinity Edge, I guess? So this is going to cause Gnar to do more damage, but the downside is now he doesn't have a Bloodthirster to take advantage of that, which he does need for healing. So that's not quite the item I wanted. As I said, Infinity Edge is not a bad item on Gnar. It doesn't mean he's going to do more damage, but he really does need a healing item, and I wasn't able to get one there. As I said, it's unfortunate that I didn't have Kayn because I could have taken some of these items and put them on Kayn here, but I don't really have that option. Jeweled Lotus pops up, but that's not really what I'm looking for right now. Jeweled Lotus is not going to help. And then I'm looking at the options here. I could try, if I hadn't just made items, I would have taken Big Grab Bag here, so maybe I should have held off one more round on making those items, because Big Grab Bag might have gotten me what I was looking for. But because I don't have all those item components, I'll go ahead and make the Titan's Resolve. So that is a good item on Gnar, and it's one of his better items to play. But I don't have the, I don't have the Bloodthirster, and he doesn't have any healing on him, which is a pretty sizable hole in the way that this unit's being built. So that's not great, unfortunately. I would say that the itemization is certainly not bad here, but it's not quite best in slot or anything like that. So, to wit, on the topic of Reaper trait, I should cover this briefly because I haven't covered specifically what this trait does. This is a very niche trait in the set. There's only 4 Reaper units. I have all the Reaper units except Kane on my board right now. The fact that I have a Reaper emblem means I can drop one of them. It does 2 things. Reaper 2 means Reaper's abilities can critically strike and they gain 20% critical strike chance. And then Reaper 4 is, additionally, Reapers bleed enemies for 45% bonus true damage over 3 seconds. So Reaper 4 is harder to get in, but you get that true damage bleed, which is really nice. I will say the fact that Reaper trait allows units to crit on their ability also means that Infinity Edge has some wasted stats on it, because one of the main things that Infinity Edge does is it allows your units to crit with their abilities. So yes, IE is not bad. It's not like an item you don't want, but there is some wasted stats there. Now, at the moment, I actually have 8 Rek'Sais and 7 Nars, but the Kindred Faucet is kind of dried up here. And there we go. All right, well, I've just hit the Kindred, or just hit the Rek'Sai 3-star. Okay. And then it's gift round time again, and I won off Gnar 3-stars, so I was like, Grillo, do you want to send that to me? Which he's happy to do, as I send him the Galio, and there we go. So now we have Kindred 3-star, Rek'Sai 3, or Gnar 3-star, Rek'Sai 3-star. What's unfortunate is I'm still stuck on the 5 Kindreds, but at this point in time, I really need to start leveling because I'm getting too far behind the pace of the game. I don't want to stay here and just keep rolling for more Kindreds because I really do need to get up to level 7 and level 8 so I can play more units. In particular, I really want to find an Ornn or a Azir so I can get the 4 Dryads in play. The health gain from playing those units is much, much higher, so it would be very, very nice to get those units in play. By the way, my whole team dies, and then in comes Grillo, and so he is going to be able to win this round against the 3-star Aphelios. And yes, that person has been re-rolling for faded units, and they've already hit the 3-star Aphelios. It's a very tight game, by the way. Oftentimes, someone is like way out in front or way behind in terms of health, but like look at this lobby. Everybody's very tightly bunched here. All right, so now it's time for another carousel. And by the way, this is the carousel where everybody just gets to go pick immediately on what they want. Yeah, that's fun, RNG. This is a really stupid encounter. Just everybody gets to pick immediately. It just turns this into a click fest, and it means that if you're behind in the game, you just get screwed. So, like, what is the purpose of doing this again? Some of these encounters are just so terrible, and that one really, really stinks. I mean, it actually benefited us because we would have been last to pick, but it's still just so dumb to turn it into a click fest instead of simply allowing people to, people who are behind have a chance to catch up. That would be kind of nice. All right, now the unit I want to play on this level up is I either want to play Alawi because she gives me Warden trait plus Ghostly trait, or alternately, what would be better would be to play Ornn here, and that would get me 4 Dryad. My past self is hopefully highlighting this here. So, well, now I've gone off that, but I'll go ahead and read it off the cheat sheet here. Again, Dryad, it's a stacking trait. Higher ranks of Dryad trait give more ability power, but more specifically, they give you additional permanent health. Dryad 2 is 3 health per enemy death on Dryad units. Dryad 4 is 7 health per enemy death, so it more than doubles the benefit. In addition to giving additional ability power. I believe I killed about 60 enemy units thus far. So, going from the 3 times 60 up to 7 times 60 would be a pretty big benefit. It is the case that I think Dryad trait's a little bit better in double up mode, just as Anima Squad was back in set 8, because you do have the option to kill units on your partner's board as well. Also, note that there's a Yone in my shop. I think in retrospect, if I had to do this game again, I would just pick up the Yones as well. I'm not really looking to 3-star the Yone, but you never know. It might happen, so probably should have picked them up. And then, because like there's another Yone in the store right here. And then we get this augment. Yorick reduces the cost to reroll your shop by 1 gold for 3 rounds. I just get completely and utterly screwed by this augment. I cannot put into words how badly I am screwed over by this augment. Because most of the rest of the lobby has been power leveling to level 8, trying to push to level 8 and level 9. They've all just reached level 8, and now they can roll down for 1 gold per reroll. Whereas I have spent the whole game re-rolling. Now I'm trying to level. There's no point in rolling right now. So this just completely screws me over because I was re-rolling on level 6, whereas anyone who was re-rolling on level 8 or going to fast 9 just gets a massive benefit. So this is a terrible, terrible encounter because it can either hit your board really hard or whiff your board completely. And it has whiffed my board completely in this game. So as I've said, I have just completely gotten railroaded in this game through no fault of my own, because there's no way you could possibly know that this was going to come up. But like Grillo went to level 9, and then he did a big roll down on level 9. So thank goodness this encounter actually synergized with how he was playing the game. In fact, he's been able to find 3 Orns, and he's going to send me a 2-star Orn. I actually found an Orn as well, so I'll go ahead and put that on my board. For right now, I was just playing the Kate for Ghostly trait. But, like, seriously, what the heck, game? Why do encounters like this exist? Like, you gotta be kidding me. It's just so dumb. It's so stupid. So, like, a whole bunch of boards that were trying to fast 9, suddenly they can get to level 9, and then now their rerolls cost 1 gold for 3 rounds. I'm just like, I don't even have words for how unfair this is to people who are not rolling down at the specific point in time when they need to roll down versus hitting an encounter that perfectly allows them to roll down. Anyway, it is what it is. Like, you got to play around it, but, like, this is monstrously unfair. So I got completely and utterly hosed by that because I was playing a reroll comp. I had already hit my units, and I didn't need to roll down, whereas everyone else who's not playing reroll comps just benefits massively here. So anyway, like I said, very, very frustrating here. All right, I'll take the last item envelope, and I actually have really good items on Kindred right now. I have the Death Cap, I have the Morelos, and the Blue Buff. These are all very, very good items to play on Kindred. Remember, Kindred doesn't need a Jeweled Gauntlet because Reaper trait allows their ability to innately critically strike. So, yeah, and this allows Kindred to just get lots of AP, have Blue Buff to cast a lot, and then on top of that, apply Morelos because I have no other source of healing reduction, which is pretty important to have. Now, the one downside is Kindred has great items, but Kindred is still only a 2-star. Like, if I had 3-star Kindred, I easily win that fight, but I'm still stuck on 5 Kindreds, which is very frustrating to have here. But I've made my board 4 Reaper, 4 Dryad, 2 Bruiser, 2 Ghostly, 2 Warden. This is definitely the board I want to play, and I'm pretty happy with what I've got here. I'm actually hoping for a Thief's Glove to pop up as one of the gift options here on the double up gift round, because another Thief's Glove for Orn would be really nice to have right now so I could get some items for Orn. Unfortunately, as it turns out, the Thief's Glove is not an option, and I believe I just have to take, 2 components, or a component anvil is my option here. Something like that, because the Thief's Glove was not an option, so I'm going to be on 2 Thief's Gloves here. So yeah, so I end up getting 2 items, and I was like, okay, well, I'll go ahead and make Hand of Justice, and if you're wondering why in the world are these items going on Kha'Zix, it's because they're going to go on Kayn later on. These are not amazing Kayn items, but they're decent enough. The Hand of Justice in particular is a little bit better. I could have also put these on Yone, but I was thinking that I would find Kayn here, and then I'd be able to just put these on Kayn. And by the way, that's 8 Aatroxes, so I'm going to go ahead and pick that up. I'm trying to get a unit to send to Grillo. I thought the Aurelia might be a good send, because he is playing Story Weavers, but he told me he'd already hit 2-star Aurelia. In fact, what he told me is he's actually on 6 Gallios right now, so he was like, let's see if we can make Gallio 3-star. Or I think he's on 5 Gallios, and he has Hwei on his board painting another one. So he was like, okay, yeah, let's do it. Let's try to go for 3-star Gallio. He's not being played on anyone else's board, so it is realistic to try to hit this unit. As it turns out, no one is playing the Kaisa plus Bruisers board, which is the board that typically would play lots of Gallios. By the way, look at all those ghostly emblems on the Triss there. So we're going to end up winning that round. So yeah, I actually do end up winning that round. My board has definitely fallen off here because I don't have Kindred 3-star. But yeah, there we go, 3-star or 6 Gallios. So we need just 3 more Gallios here in order to make this board work. And again, it continues to be a very tight lobby. Look how closely bunched we are on health. Very, very close. So we're trying to get the option on what to send to Grillo here. And I believe he ends up taking the completed item anvil because it's going to give some choices, as opposed to the artifact item, which gives no choices. I am still looking for Kayn and still trying to find more Kindreds here. I am going to find an Azir, which sounds great, but what unit do I take off the board to get Azir in? Normally I would take out Rek'Sai, but Rek'Sai is a 3-star unit, so I'm not going to do that. And I can't take out any of my Reapers. I guess I could take out Alawi, but putting Azir on the board really do that much? I don't think a 1-star Azir with no items would actually do that much. So even though it feels weird not to play the Azir, I don't really see how I can get this unit on my board. Now, if I could find a Reaper emblem to get up to 6 Reapers, that would be really good. I could put the emblem on like Yone, or actually I'd probably put it on the Alawi for more health. But if I could find a Reaper emblem somehow, some way, that would actually be really, really, really nice. And then I'd be able to get the 6 Dryad in. Not Reaper, wow. If I could find another Dryad emblem. Because 6 Dryad is really nice. You get a ton of AP, and you also get 11 health per kill. And I'm getting close to 100 kills at this point. All right, so remember, we're trying to make Galio 3-star, right? And there's a Galio on the carousel. Grillo is last pick, so he is probably not going to be able to get this Galio. So I was like, Grillo, I'll take the Galio because I can use the Warmogs. I can put it on Ornn, and then I'll just send you the Galio to get you closer to Galio 3-star. Because that'll get us to, that we're on 6 right now. This one gets us to 7, and he's painting an 8th. So he only needs to find one more after that for the Galio 3-star, which would be really, really good if we can put it together. These are the kind of things that you want to do in double up mode. Like I said, maybe it would have been another item that would have been more useful for me, but the Galio works just fine, or the Warmogs works just fine. And oh, by the way, there's the 2-star Ornn coming over. So we'll go ahead and put this on Ornn. He really did need more in the way of like armor and magic resistance. So I guess if I was going to pick something out of the blue, I probably would have taken that Steadfast Heart. But there we go. There's 3-star Aatrox. I mean, that will help, but he is basically just a tank. Still, that is going to help here. And yeah, I'm really just trying to find more Kindreds. It would be really, really helpful if I could find more Kindreds. I do at least find one. That'll get me to 6, but I'm unfortunately just about out of gold here. So I'm still going to need, what, 3 more somehow? And I am rolling on level 8, which does not have great odds for the 2-cost units, only 25%. So, like I said, I've just unfortunately kind of gotten stuck on a low number of Kindreds in this game. If Grillo and I had a little bit more luck with the Kindreds, I think we'd be in better shape. And then the other fault for my board is Gnar's itemization is a little bit wonky. I wish Gnar had slightly better items. But really, I'm just missing the 3-star Kindred. That's about the only thing I'm missing. So we're in again, this very, very tight lobby. But at the moment, it looks like we're in trouble. But there we go. There's 2-star Galio. There's 3-star Galio. So 3-star Galio won that 7 Storyweaver board. Not bad. And I was telling Grillo, you know, if you would happen to see a Kindred in your store, maybe you can have your Hui paint me some Kindreds. Maybe that would certainly be helpful if it was the case. Because since I'm out of gold, I can't really get that much stronger at this point. But the good news is 3-star Galio. Now we're going to lean on the Galio, and this is the unit that we're going to have to play through. Because 3-star Galio is going to be really, really strong overall. The problem is, again, I can't really beat a lot of these boards because my carries are just not strong enough. The Gnar not having any lifesteal means that Gnar dies a little bit too quickly. And then Kindred is just a 2-cost unit. If Kindred's not 3-starred, even with really good items, they don't quite output enough damage. So that said, we are going to beat this board, except they come in and reinforce. And then Gnar's going to die, but then Grillo comes in and reinforces. 3-star Galio to the rescue. And that's going to be enough to win this very amusing round here, which turns out to be pretty important that we win this round. With our health so low, any round that we can win to preserve health is going to be very, very valuable. And oh, there we go. Finally, there's a Kayn. Now I can transfer these items over. And if I could somehow 2-star Kayn, that would actually give me another damage step. But oh, look what just popped up on the interface. Annie 3-stars. Like... Annie 3-star. Oh no. Annie is one of the strongest 3-star units. Everybody says that if you 3-star this unit, it's like she's like the strongest 4-cost if you can actually manage to 3-star her, because she's just insanely tanky and also does a tremendous amount of damage. So we've got Galio 3-star, but they have Annie 3-star on one of the other teams, and that is not what we want to see. Now here's some good news. A Kindred pops up in the store, so I am 2 Kindreds off at this point. Here I could have taken an item for Kayn, but I didn't really like any of those items for Kayn, so I'll go ahead and take this Dragon's Claw. That is going to make Ornn much tankier against magic damage. If I could somehow find a Bramble Vest, then Ornn would have like absolutely awesome tank items. So hopefully Kayn can help me out. Now the problem with Kayn is someone else has been grabbing Kayns the whole game for their board. They're playing a Heavenly Kayn board, and unfortunately they've been taking all the Kayns out of the pool, which is why I haven't seen them. Also, by the way, here's Annie 3-star, so okay, that's great. I love that the very first round after this person hit Annie 3-star, that I'm the one who gets to face them. So yeah, that Annie has like 8,000 health after she transforms into Tibbers, and she also does an insane amount of damage. So there's really not a lot I can do here. Annie did 12,000 damage while also having some insane amount of health, so I am going to lose that round. I could not survive long enough for Grillo to come in and save me here. Now, I was trying to get to level 9 here because I would like to get a 0 on my board. I'm still kind of hoping that maybe I could find a Dryad emblem and then get a 0 on the board for 6 Dryad. But I don't know. We are getting awfully low on health. And again, it's an insanely tight lobby here. So my board is, again, not that far off, but I'm not sure if I just roll down for Kindred 3-star or if I try to get to level 9 and maybe find more Canes. I'm still not exactly sure, but I think in retrospect it would have been better to just roll down and try to find Kindred 3-star because that's what I need to spec my board. Like putting in a Azir is not really going to do that much. It just takes me to 5 Dryad, which is like whatever. I mean, it's not bad to have a Azir, but really Kindred is the unit I need. And by the way, look at this. This Trist goes down to no HP and then kills Kindred and then proceeds to murder my team on low HP. We were that, even though that round doesn't look very close, I was that close to killing the Trist and then winning that round because the Kindred would have been perfectly safe. And then we take a double loss here. So, oof, we're at 1 HP, and if either of us loses a round, the game is over. Again, that's if either of us loses a round, the game is over. By the way, I maybe could have picked up these Yones here, but I really just needed Kindred, and oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness gracious, I do actually hit the Kindred. Again, maybe I should have done that like 2 rounds ago, but I have to do it now because we're on 1 HP, and if we lose any more rounds, the game is over. Look at the lobby, 5 health, 4 health, 1 health, 1 health. It is tight in this lobby, so again, we can't afford to lose any more rounds the rest of the game. If I lose a round or if Grillo loses a round, we are out. All right, so I am up against the Fated player. This person is running 7 Fated, and they have 3-star Aphelios back there. But the good news is I do now have the Kindred 3-star, and that is going to make a big difference. The 2-star, there's a 2-star set that's kind of on the Kindred here. Kindred, jump away, jump away, jump away. And this fight is really close, but oh, wow. Kindred survives on, I don't know, 2% health. I was that close to losing that round. And again, if we lose that round, the game is over and we're out. So we hang on for 1 more round. Now we get another carousel here. I'm like, what can I, and then there's all these spatulas on here. I was like, can I make anything with this spatula? It's so late in the game for the spatulas, though. There's not much I can do in terms of making items here. I also have a Thief's Glove, but I don't really have a good person to put this on. I guess I could put it on Yone, but I actually think it's better to put an item on Ornn here because Ornn is a key unit. Yone is just kind of in there as a trait bot. The Thief's Glove would be nice, but I think I can make better use of stuff here. So I'm going to take the, what is this, the Adaptive Helm, because I can actually put this on Ornn, and that will give him some additional armor and magic resistance. So once again, same situation as before. We are on 1 HP, and the rest of the lobby, there's another team on 1 HP, and then there's a team on 4 HP. And by the way, this is the player with the Canes. They have 8 Canes. So I have 1, they have 8. There's 1 more still in the pool somewhere. But that's why I haven't been able to find Kane this whole game, because they have all the Canes at the moment. All right, so off we go. I was praying I would not hit Annie 3-star. I do not hit Annie 3-star, thank goodness. I'm up against this Mythic board that's playing through Bard 3-star. The scary thing is they have 2-star Hui over there on their board. That's pretty scary in a 7 Mythic board. He has been nerfed from where he was earlier in the set when he was like a total monster, but he's still a very strong unit. But the good news is Gnar paths on top of the Hui and manages to kill the Hui. Now, I'm still going to lose this round because I can't kill the Bard 3-star, but oh, in comes Grillo's board. Just barely getting there in time, and that makes the difference because he is going to help me win the round, and we knock out that team. So now it comes down to 1 more round. Again, we've got the Annie 3-star team is the other team in there, but they are down on 1 health. So I can get to level 9 here, and this is the last round of the game. We're both on 1 HP, so it makes sense to sell these Ornns, put in the Azir, stuff this tier on him just so he casts slightly earlier. And now we need to try to win this round because whoever wins this round is going to win the game. Grillo is rolling to see if he can find me anything useful. I was like, the only thing that would be helpful is Azir. So he's going to find 1 Azir, but we actually need 2 Azirs. If I'd known, I would have taken that Azir off Kara, so I could have had 2-star Azir, but whatever. So I'm up against the Duelist player, and this is good news because if I was up against the Annie player, the Annie 3-star, I would have just lost, and that would have been it. But I'm up against the Duelist player, and oh, we take out Trist early on. Trist is the big damage source on this team along with Aurelia. So we kill the Trist, and now we're cutting through the front line. Can we take down Aurelia? Down she goes. And now I'm going to go jump over, and for once I'm going to reinforce Grillo instead of the other way around. He's just dying, but he's got the Annie 3-star to 1% health, and the Annie goes down. And that's going to do it. What a close game. Oh my goodness, we were on 1 HP for like the last, 3 rounds, I think? And first we knocked out the team in 4th, and then we knocked out the team in 3rd, and then we knocked out the team in 2nd for an absolute nail-biter of a game. We were both we were both pretty pumped after this game. We actually stopped playing any more games this night because we're like, all right, that's it. We're done for the night. We can't really do too much better than this because what a wild roller coaster of a game this was, hanging in there on death's door. All right. Well, anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope this game was entertaining to watch. Until next time, hope you guys are having a great week. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.